Hello everybody, this is Dr. Farrell and I want to welcome you to the Fundamentals of Public School Administration. This course is an overview of what it means to be a principal, and so if you're taking this course at the beginning of your program, you're going to see a lot of the things that you will have individual courses covering. If you're taking it toward the end of your program, you're going to see some things that the course has covered in the past with specific topics and so forth. So with that in mind, we are looking specifically at the announcements page. This is our Blackboard page when you log into the course. Just a reminder that every time I post an announcement, and I will post an announcement at the beginning of each week, either on Sunday or Monday, and the announcement will give you some information as to what is happening that week, any special things that you need to know, and if for some reason I'm not available on campus, because I have a lot of students who come and visit during office hours. So that is why I decided to start on the page that deals with announcements, because this is always the first page you're going to come to when you log into Blackboard. By the way, I also forward all the announcements I post to your email account, your NSU email account. So if I have not advised you in the past, or your advisor has not advised you, check your NSU email regularly. That means more than once a week. And if you don't check it that often, then what you need to do is go in there and go into settings and forward that to an email account that you do check regularly. Okay, all important NSU announcements, not just from my course but from the university, will come through your NSU email. Okay, so with that, what the purpose of this video is to walk you around the course, but specifically more to look at the syllabus and to give you an idea of what my expectations are in the course and what you can expect from the course. So with that, let us go to the Start Here menu. This is where hopefully you have begun the course. On the Start Here menu, now you can see my information you need to get started in our course. Basically what I'm showing you here is my offices in Broken Arrow and in Tahlequah. So in Broken Arrow, I am in the Education Building, BAED 165, and in Tahlequah I'm in Bagley Hall 123A. The best way to contact me is through my cell phone, 918-605-9738. If you text me, and I do accept texts, I welcome texts, please tell me who you are the first time, and then periodically tell me who you are so I remember and don't have to scroll up. But a lot of the questions we can answer through text. So my office hours for this fall, this is also reflected in the syllabus. Monday and Fridays I'm available anytime by appointments. These days are generally reserved for meetings, but I can easily schedule you around those meetings. Typically I know that our average student is somebody who is a practicing teacher or working full-time during the day, and we'll schedule meetings in the afternoon. With that in mind, you can see that on Tuesdays I plan on being in Tahlequah in the evenings from 4 to 7, and on Wednesdays I plan on being in Broken Arrow in the evenings from 4 to 7. On Thursdays, it just depends on the week. I'll either be in Tahlequah or Broken Arrow, but I'll at least be in one of those places from 2 to 4, unless something comes up. And then I always will tell you in an email at the beginning of the week with the announcements whether I'm going to be in the office that week or not. The rest of this information is to help you, especially since we are in an online course, the needed technologies for this course. If you have any questions, I always advise people to call the NSU Blackboard helpline. If you're on campus, it's 5678. This was the first phone number I memorized when I came to NSU, probably because it's very easy to remember, but Nonetheless, it was the first number. Off campus, it's simply 444-5678. Okay. If you're having issues with Blackboard, this is where you need to go. And the other helpful link here is to the student resources, and you can go in here and you can see there are lots of information for students who are needing help, especially tutor.com. You can go here and get help with various things that you may be doing, such as writing and so forth. We do have a specific writing center in Broken Arrow here or in Tahlequah here. You can go there and get help. You can see there are lots of links here in the student resources for you, and then also support services for you if you find that you need some type of help. Everything from career counseling, academic advising, all the way down to financial aid. We are not using Respondus Lockdown in our course, so you don't need to worry about that. The Microsoft training, you can access some training videos if you're unfamiliar with Microsoft. The biggest thing that you'll be doing with Microsoft in our course is obviously editing, saving, and attaching documents. And then if you need some general help with some browsers, some add-ons and plugins, there are some links here. So lots of information in the student resources under the Start Here menu. We can go next to our syllabus. I like to include a minimum of 2 things here. So first of all, the syllabus, which is downloadable. I would encourage you to download and print the syllabus. And then I always include a course calendar. Okay. Again, here is some important syllabus information to some links for the university in case you have any questions about anything with policies regarding students and things that you would find in the syllabus. But our course calendar here is one of the big things I want to look at real fast. And what our course calendar does is it tells you basically each week the items that are deliverables for that week. And when I use the term deliverables, I mean these are the things that will be sent for grading purposes. Okay, and we're going to look at the course syllabus in just a minute, but you can see, and we'll talk about what we mean by standard 1, 2, 3, on down through 7 in just a second. But you can see, so our first week we had a case study. Our second week we had some activities, a leadership framework, campus improvement plan, and we're going to deal with some case studies. We're going to deal with discussion boards. We're going to deal with activities. Those are our big items in our course on how we're going to do it. So let us look at the syllabus real fast, okay? And then we're going to come back and finish with these things for the last couple of minutes of our introduction. But let's look at the course syllabus. So let me pull that up for you. So again, here is my contact information. This is the same thing you saw in our course introduction. This is an online course. We stated it in 2 places here. You at least need to be a graduate student. Our course goals. So let's increase this a little bit and look at the 5 goals we have as our course goals. Number 1, to provide student with materials, concepts, conditions, and structures to enable them as teaching scholars to develop a tentative, conceptual, and value framework for public school administration. What we are trying to do in our course goals is to incorporate our goals as the College of Education with specific goals for school administrators, okay? Another course goal then is to organize and integrate information addressed in later, more content-specific courses. I said that at the beginning, that this course, if you take it at the beginning of your program, is really going to explain a lot of the specific courses later on in your program. And I'll explain that when we talk about standards in just a minute. We want to facilitate scholarship and discussion of current issues that impact the leadership of public schools and are so vital to the development of human potential, Human potential is one of the cornerstones of our College of Education framework. We want to encourage students as leaders of educational, civic, tribal, and other human communities to become aware of probable future issues in public school administration. And then finally, we want to facilitate students in refining their own philosophies of education through discussion and scholarly activities. So how do we accomplish those course goals? We do that through our student outcomes. And this is specifically what you will be doing in this course. Number one, you will analyze and evaluate case studies to determine best practices for school administrators. You're going to be provided with a number of case studies and asked to analyze actions taken and what you would do as an administrator in various scenarios. Okay, and we're going to base this upon readings that I provide to you and sources on the internet that you use and so forth. So we're going to incorporate all that, and you will analyze and evaluate these case studies. So case studies are a very good way to learn a practical application of things that we're learning in our course. Number two, another student outcome of our course is you will be able to evaluate the professional development plan and or activities in your building and district based upon research. We will see that professional development is going to be a big piece that we pay some special attention to, because this will ultimately be your portfolio project for this course. So in addition to that, you'll create the foundation for a professional development plan in your district. And then finally, our last student learning outcome is that you will reflect on your own learning through discussions with classmates regarding the role of a building administrator. And what we mean here, and I put the term metacognition out there, is I want you to be able to think of what you have in mind, the role of the principal at the beginning of our course, and then toward the end of our course, reflect on how the things that were presented to you in the course and that you dealt with in the content, how those things changed your thinking of what the role of a principal is. Okay, and that will be your final project, as we will see. So this course will use a combination of online discussion boards, activities where you'll be asked to look at specific things within your buildings, and finally projects you'll be asked to complete, your biggest project being your professional development project. All of these line up with our ELCC standards, and you will see that in week 1 when we talk about what the ELCC standards are, and that is how our course is lined out, and we'll look at that when we look at the calendar in just a second. There is no textbook for our course. I will provide you with all the things to read. I will also provide you with videos and PowerPoints of lectures that I would present if we were in a face-to-face class. So those things will come out as we go in there. I'm not going to go through all the grading policy. What I do want to look at is your assignments. Okay, you will have 8 case studies in the course, and they're worth 3 points each for a total of 24 points. You will have 6 discussion boards, which are worth 3 points each for a total of 18 points. And you will have 8 individual activities, which are worth, again, 3 points each for a total of 24 points. The last items will deal with your portfolio project, which is your professional development project and your professional development assessment. Together, those are worth 19 points, and then your final reflection project is worth 15. This comes to a total of 100 points, and this makes it easy for you to look at your course total and see exactly where you are at the end of the course. There are 2 opportunities to gain bonus points. Number 1, for 1 point, simply introduce yourself to your colleagues in the class. And number 2, after reviewing this video, taking a look at the syllabus, and looking around our course in Blackboard, take the Blackboard quiz. Okay, that is worth 2 points. And together, our total points in the class are 103 points, but I'm only going to look at 100 of those points. So basically, the bottom line is the points reflected in there out of the 103 points will be your total points for the class. Okay, and you can see the breakdown. This is a typical breakdown of grades. Instead of 90 to 100 or 80 to 90, 89, we bump it up a little bit for graduate school. So it's 93 to 100, 83 to 92, and so forth. Okay. One thing I want to stress about incompletes, I rarely give incompletes, but I understand they are needed at points, and if they are, there are certain things that you need to be aware of. Number one, you have to have at least 3/4 of the work in the course done at the time you request the incomplete, so chances are this is going to be toward the end of our course. Number two, we will establish a timeline no longer than 1 year that you will finish the work. When I do give an incomplete, I highly encourage people to finish it as soon as possible. And then finally, number three, and this is the thing that's most important in my mind, if you do request an incomplete, the highest grade you will receive will be a B. Okay, you can no longer receive an A if you're on that track and need to request an incomplete. Again, there are times when those things are reality and they have to come forth, but in general, with good planning and communication, we can prevent incompletes from happening. They are a part of it, though, so do not be afraid to ask for it if the time comes and you feel you need an incomplete to finish the course. The rest of these things I'm going to let you look at on your own. The next thing I want to concentrate, though, for a second again, would be our course calendar. So our courses run from Monday to Sunday. I try to open things on Sundays before the Monday, but in general our courses run from Monday to Sunday unless I specify differently, and I do in 3 places here. Your first discussion board is due on September 9th, which is 2 full weeks. Your professional development project is due on October 14th. I introduce it on September 17th. That's a month for you to do that. And then your professional development assessment is due on September 30th. I introduce that on the 17th as well, and that gives you 2 weeks. Everything else, if you see it, assume it is due Sunday at midnight. Okay? Many things will disappear at midnight, and so you won't have the option to submit them. In general, I like to leave modules open for 2 weeks, the week it is active and the following week. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're also looking through our. So with that, you can see we have a full calendar here, something due every week. Sometimes it's an individual activity. For example, November 12th. You have one activity where you'll be working on an individual basis. Sometimes it is a discussion board where you will be interacting with your colleagues, and other times it's a combination of those. Okay? So, and let me talk about your discussion boards. You can see you have a total of 6 discussion boards in our class. Your discussion boards are worth 3 points. And I'll provide rubrics for all these items for you so you can see. Your discussion board rubric to gain the 3 points is real easy. Number one, you have to make a total of 3 posts. Your initial post in response to the prompt counts as 1, and then you need to respond to 2 separate individuals at a minimum. That counts as your 3 posts. Number 2, you need to respond over a 3-day period at a minimum. Okay? And then number 3, you need to use proper grammar, APA style, that kind of stuff, and address your classmates or myself, if you're talking to me, by our names, okay, our first names. And all those things together, if you do them, you will get the full 3 points for your discussion board. Blackboard is set up so that you have to make a minimum of 3 posts before it ever clicks into grading on my side. So if you only make 2 posts, it will never click over to grading, and ultimately it results in a 0 for you at that point. So I have students periodically ask me why I've set the rubric up so that you have to make 3 posts and you have to spread out over a 3-day period and be nice to people. Well, being nice to people is just being professional, okay? We're working at a graduate level, which means that you are working in a very professional field. Very few people in Oklahoma, let alone the United States, have a master's degree. So we're training you to be very professional. The 3-day period and responding to your classmates is because I want you to interact. The purpose of a discussion board is not for you to throw something online and get the 3 points. It's for you to think about the content. And if I didn't put that 3-day period, and in the past I didn't put that on there, what I would see is that students would wait until 11:30 on Sunday night and they would put 3 posts on there real quick. And at that point, there's no interaction with the content or with their classmates. And so by telling you need to spread it out over a 3-day period, then that's going to force you to at least get in there and look at the content and interact with your classmates over an extended period of time. Okay, so that's why we have that, or why I have that rubric in those specifications for your discussion boards. Okay, so you can see then on discussion boards, if we were to go there real quickly, here are our discussion boards, and you can see we have 2 open. This one is about to close. This one will get in there. This one is open this week and next week. So next week I'll start getting in there and responding. This is letting me know personally, just FYI, that there have been 46 responses so far in this discussion board and none directed back to me. 46 unread, by the way. So I'll get in there. It takes me a while to get in there, but I will get in there. As you can see, I read all 67 of these. But nonetheless, that's what you will see, okay? The other thing here in the discussion board, if we click on discussion board, the very first thing is our Q&A cafe. This is for general questions about our course, okay? If you have a question that chances are somebody else will have, please throw it in here. This saves everybody a lot of time because we can go in here and look, and I will check this on a daily basis during the week, and it will allow us to clear out a lot of confusion for our course. Questions here would be things like questions about an assignment or questions about an activity. Questions that wouldn't belong in here are specific questions about your grade, things like that. Okay, so just ask yourself if this is a general question and it would benefit somebody else in the class, then put it in the Q&A cafe. Otherwise, you can email me directly with that. The main place that we will go in our course, other than looking at announcements in the syllabus, will be our weekly modules. So let's click on weekly modules, and you can see in this course here now we have our weeks 1 and 2 available. Week 1 has been up since week 1. We are about to finish week 2, so it will disappear rather quickly. And you will see week 3 pop up. Okay, and so if there's anything important within the module that you will need beyond that particular week, for example, the professional development things that go into your portfolio that have 4 weeks for you to complete it, at the end of that week it will appear in this list. At the top of the list, the module itself will disappear, but the instructions will appear for you. Okay, so my goal here is just to keep this so that it's not convoluted and just confusing, for the lack of a better word, looking and trying to figure out where you are. Okay, so I will start each module with the week we are in, which corresponds to our course calendar, and give you the date at the beginning of that week, which is always going to be a Monday. Okay, and again, everything is due on Sunday at midnight, with one exception, and that exception, if we go back to our syllabus and look at our course calendar, is down here, and that is our final, your reflection for the course. I'm going to give you a specific prompt for your reflection. Your reflection is due on Thursday at 5 o'clock. Okay, that is not due on Sunday. It is due Thursday at 5 o'clock, and that's simply because it's finals week. So the other things here, really the other thing, three things that would benefit you. Again, student resources. We saw this earlier. I just wanted to highlight this for you in case you had any questions about where to look for information. The library, we will probably not do a lot where I ask you to look for specific articles in this course. You will in future courses though, so be familiar with that. You can go to the library, the College of Ed, and you can do some searches there. Okay. The other thing here would be My Grades. And under My Grades, you can see we don't have a lot built in, but this will fill in as we go through our course. Any comments I make to you, you will see here under your specific item. You will also see your score, and you'll be able to view the rubric and see any comments I made on the rubric. Okay. Rarely do I make comments on the rubric. I generally make comments to you specifically, which will appear here where it says discussion. Okay, or assignment. Those are where you'll see your comments. So with that, we'll go back to the beginning of our course. I look forward to an exciting semester. I love teaching this course. I will add that I appreciate your patience in putting the syllabus together and getting it all aligned, but one of the things that we take serious is the concept of continuous feedback and continuous improvement. And so I have made a lot of changes to this course based upon feedback since the last time I taught the course. Okay, so I really appreciate your patience in getting this together and getting this out to you, and I look forward to a great semester and seeing what you learned and what I learned with you as we go through our semester.